What is up, guys? Welcome back. LAJ, your boy. So we're doing a new video, something different, and this is in rule for everybody in the National League, and it's something that I've had on my mind for a minute. uh the National League should genuinely adopt the DH rule. This has not come up in a minute, but it would be a good thing to bring up. I'm gonna present you guys some facts, some information, and you guys digest it the way you guys want and give me your feedback and your opinions of what you guys think about this. So with that being said, hope you guys are ready and let's get going.
Here, but now Metzger is not done yet. He's going to do something here with a garbage can and he put the garbage can behind.
So before we get started, I want to thank you guys for being on. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you get some information out of this to where you either disagree or agree with some of the things I say, and you chime in with your own opinions and thoughts and how maybe things could be different. So here goes. The reason I'm proposing the National League adopt the designated hitting rule is because, nothing screams clutch, excitement, and run support like anybody other than the pitcher coming up to bat. And the last thing you want to see as your team is in its final outs or in the middle of a stressful game, especially in the World Series, the pitcher is up to bat. And if you pinch hit for him, you not only take that pitcher out, but you also use a potentially good hitter out of the bench. So that's one of the reasons why I would love to see the designated hitter position be adopted into the National League. But before I even give out my opinions, I wanted to make sure that I did some good research and I provided you guys with some nuggets. And these are some of the things that I picked up from a simple Wikipedia out of finding out what and when the designated hitting rule was adopted. And surely enough, this is kind of astonishing to me. The reason the designated hitter rule, and this is out of Wikipedia, came up was because the exception to then Red Sox pitcher Babe Ruth, this is going back to the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, all pitchers were viewed for their quality of throwing, not their, and this is quote unquote, weak hitting. The designated hitting rule was raised by the Philadelphia Athletic manager Connie Mack in 1906, though some speculate that he was not the first to propose it. Later on, Sports Illustrated dug out an article which was named Why the Pitcher Ought to Bat. It first appeared in the Philadelphia North American newspaper, and it was reprinted on February 3rd, 1906 on the Sporting Life. So basically, the designated hitting rule was first proposed a long time ago before it actually came into fruition. And the reason was because people didn't want to see the pitcher. Essentially, old timers, really old timers, didn't want to see the pitcher, and the only exception was Babe Ruth. Upon further, reading and digging, I found out that the designated hitting rule was first embraced by the Oakland A's owner Charlie O'Finley, and on January 11th, 1973, Finley and the other American League owners voted 8-4 to approve the designated hitter for a 3-year trial run. So this was just a trial run. So on April 6th, the first game of the year, Ron Blomberg of the New York Yankees became the first designated hitter in Major League Baseball history. And he faced the Boston Red Sox right-handed pitcher Luis Tiant. In his first plate appearance, Boomer, which is what they called him back then, walked. And that was a result of the first season with the DH, as the American League posted a higher batting average than the National League. And since then, it's something the American League has maintained pretty much control of. So in response to the increase of the American League attendance because of the designated hitter, the National League held a yes-no vote on August 3rd, 1980, and determined whether or not the league would adopt a designated hitter. Here's where it gets really interesting. So in 1980, the National League would have had a designated hitter, but here's where things got crazy. The measure was expected to pass. However, when the teams were informed that the rule would not come into effect until 1982, Philadelphia Phillies Vice President Bill Giles was unsure of how the team owner would want to vote, and he wanted him to vote. So unable to contact the Carpenters, which is the owners of the Philadelphia Phillies, he was on a fishing trip and he was forced to abstain from voting. Prior to the meeting, general manager for the Pittsburgh Pirates was told to side with the Phillies. However, they voted. So that's 2 votes that are out. The final tally was 4 teams voting for the DH: Atlanta, New York, the Mets, St. Louis Cardinals, and the San Diego Padres, and 5 votes against. The Chicago Cubs fail. Cincinnati Reds fail. Oh, as much as it sucks and it hurts, the Los Angeles Dodgers, Montreal Expos, and the San Francisco Giants, they all vetoed against the DH. 3 teams were absentees, and that were the Phillies, the Pirates, and for whatever reason, the Astros, who are now in the American League. So essentially, what it boils down to is the National League at one point was expected to have the DH rule in effect in 1980, but taken into effect in 1982. Unfortunately, the Phillies and the Pirates said, we don't know how to vote, so we're not going to vote. And the Astros, for whatever reason, we're not going to vote either. And unfortunately, we have 5 teams that said no to the DH, which was the Cubs, Reds, Dodgers, Expos, and the Giants. And unfortunately, that's why we don't have a DH at the moment. So here's my reasons why, in a good sense, the DH rule should be considered to be adopted. I mean, whether it be next year, the following year, and 2 years from now, I think it definitely should. And here's why. My first reason is gives a player a type of day off. So essentially, they don't have to be on the field, ground balls, foul balls, risk. It doesn't matter. Like, they don't have to worry about being on the field. They just have to worry about producing offensively. The other thing too, the veterans, the players that are above age that don't have the athleticism that they once used to have, they get the opportunity to be involved and potentially extend their careers. The most important one for me is pitchers do not run the risk of injury while running on base or even potentially getting hit by a ball. You just never ever know. A freak accident could happen. You just never know. So honestly, with all these little factors put into effect, this could potentially provide more excitement to the people. I mean, we're trying to attract more people to the game, right? People are saying that this game is boring, right? So these are some of the components. Now I'm just going to specifically talk about the 3 top teams in an NL when pitchers are batting. And here goes. The top 3 teams in the National League right now with pitchers as their batters are the Mets, who are averaging a .183 average, a 220 on-base percentage, a 491 OPS. They have 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, 108 strikeouts, which is a 43% strikeout ratio. The Dodgers are in second place with a 143 average, 179 on-base percentage, 354 OPS, 1 home run, 12 RBIs, 85 strikeouts, 31% strikeout ratio, and trailing the pack is the Pirates with a 148 average, 160 on base percentage, a 389 on base OPS. OPS. No home runs, 10 RBIs, 89 strikeouts, 39 strikeout percentage. So again, if we're trying to attract people into the games because it's boring or it's slow, stats like these kind of, put that into effect. Now, if I talk directly to the Dodger fans, which is myself and all the other ones, in 2019, so far, the Dodgers in 28 plate appearances have 7 hits, 2 walks, and 11 strikeouts. That rounds up to a .250 batting average between Matt Beattie, Justin Turner, and David Freese. I'd rather run the risk of having a DH that's hitting .250 or a combination of batters that are batting .250 as opposed to running the risk of the pitcher being the batter and risking injury, striking out, leaving the bases loaded, leaving runners in scoring position when we need them. And that in itself is something that Dodger fans should definitely take into consideration and really push for the DH rule into effect. This gives someone like David Freese and Russell Martin, who are veterans at the game and they're very, very important members to the locker room, the opportunity to contribute without having to be on the field. Or even better, when fully healthy, this team has an abundance of players like Kike Hernandez, Chris Taylor, Matt Beattie, offering the opportunity to take some of the load off from Turner and AJ Pollock, who can't play every day, who are, not susceptible to injuries, but they've had their injuries back then and can't really play 162 games, 160, 150. They have to take some time off. And the best and most recent example I can offer, in 2016, the Dodgers still had an offensively productive Andre Ethier. Unfortunately, he wasn't used in the NLCS other than one game where he hit a home run, and the 2017 World Series where where he had two hits, a walk, and an RBI. So, in conclusion, adding offense makes the game more attractive to those that say baseball is boring and slow, protects pitchers, and has, most importantly, the potential to extend careers. With all this being said, I want to know what you guys think will be the best option. What team would be better with the DH? What are the negatives about bringing the DH to the NL? Just lay it out there. Tell me what you guys think. So with that being said, I'm LAJ. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I can't wait to hear you guys and see what you guys think. And make sure you guys follow, subscribe to Legendary Sports Organizations on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And I hope you guys enjoyed it.